If you have college-age students in your family, you know exactly how expensive the cost of college education is at the public level, not the private level, but the public level certainly, where you think there should be added value. Senate President Keith Faber joins us, and he certainly has made a challenge clear to public universities across the state to keep college affordable. It's called the 5% Challenge. Tell us about that.
Well, the Senate about 18 months ago issued what we called our 5% Senate Challenge. And what we did was ask Ohio higher education institutions, public higher education institutions, although we want our private ones to participate too, the public institutions to reduce student costs by 5%. Now, everybody first thought, well, that means a tuition reduction. No, because student costs aren't just tuition. They're room and board, it's books, it's fees. I think 5% across the board is more important than just a 5% tuition.
And to be clear here, you're not talking about a funding cut to colleges. You're asking them to find 5% savings within their own budget somehow and leaving it up to them.
We want to reduce student costs by 5%. And I'm not saying we're going to reduce student higher ed aid from the state by 5%. In fact, we're probably increasing state higher ed aid. However, what we have seen over the last 30 years is higher education inflation that exceeds the national inflation rate, and sometimes by a great deal. And so what's happened is higher education has grown remarkably unaffordable. And in many cases, the value that you're getting out of that degree is diminished because of the cost of the degree. So what we're trying to ask our universities and community colleges to do is simple. Let's figure out ways to save money for students. They're really responding in a positive way. I'm actually very impressed by the leadership of our state higher education institutions, because they have come at this challenge with great intensity and they're just doing a good job on it. Let me give you a couple of examples. One of our community colleges determined that one of their developmental math classes, which takes 2 semesters to get through, the books were costing nearly $800 for those 2 semesters. They have reduced the cost of those books to a little over $100. That's an 80% reduction. I think that's saving students money. That's exactly what we're talking about. Another one of our universities figured out that a lot of their classes to get a bachelor's degree, a lot of their courses of study to get a bachelor's degree, were going beyond the 120 credits that most people know as a bachelor's degree. They were getting up to 130, 140, and that's why people were taking 5 or 6 years to graduate.
Credit creep.
Credit creep. And so what they've done is try and get their degrees, for bachelor's degrees, their credits back down to 120, but they didn't stop there. They also learned that while those 5th and 6th years are very expensive, particularly when you consider the opportunity cost because you're not working and earning an income, the most expensive college is that 3-year student who doesn't graduate. So they're trying to encourage students to graduate. And they learned that if you take 15 semester hours a semester, you'll graduate in 4 years with a 120 credit hour degree. And so they took steps to encourage and promote students to take 15 credit hours a semester, and here's just one of their innovative ideas. They said, if you take and complete 15 semester hours a semester successfully, we'll give you a rebate for 5% of your tuition. Pretty good deal. They were going to send checks back to the students. Now, it wasn't that long ago that I was a student, and I know that if I got a check for 5% at the end of the semester, it probably wasn't going to go to my tuition next semester. I'd have a nice spring break, or all of those things are realities in student life. So what we did was encourage them not to write the checks, instead to do it as a rebate on their next semester's tuition. So it comes off their loans, it comes off mom and dad's help. And so the bottom line is they're going to do it that way. Now, the last semester when you graduate, they'll send you a check because you're starting out a new life. You're going to need that to help do a deposit on an apartment or whatever you're doing. But that's the response that we're getting statewide to this 5% challenge. It's making a difference. We're trying to contain student costs. And you know what? It's a good start.
Senate President Keith Faber, thanks for your time.